Tonight on the Q30 Newscast, we talk Q-thon one last time this year, but only to reveal their fundraise total.
Brooke Riley shares some saddening national news, and the Republican Party is heating up after the Obamacare repeal has failed. We'll learn about that in our political update.
Lastly, we talk about the School of Communications' largest event of the year, the Media Mashup. Enrico and Kayla from Hashtag give us our entertainment update.
All of this and more coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Good evening and welcome to the Q30 Newscast. I'm Joel Vanner.
And I'm Chris Dacey. The Q-thon was last weekend and they exceeded its goal of $150,000 raised. Callie Keys has more on the story.
This Saturday, Q-thon held their annual 10-hour dance marathon event. With a record number of 1,500 in attendance, Quinnipiac students danced all night for the kids who need it most. For many, the best part of the event was the reveal, when this year's management committee held up the $218,184.83 that was raised for the Connecticut Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
There's really no way to put it into words. Like once you put up that total reveal and like you see everyone kind of go crazy, it just makes you realize that like your whole year of hard work was worth it.
Being able to hold up that on Saturday it means so much to me. It means so much to the rest of our team, but it means even more to the kids at Connecticut Children's. And I think that that's what we were all so proud of, was that our little school, when we all combine together, like can do amazing, amazing things for this hospital.
This year, the management team paired Greek organizations together and used miracle points to create competition. Many believe that this may have helped the fundraising efforts, as many organizations held events to help their final totals.
In efforts to be able to sponsor a kid, we actually made shirts that we tie-dyed. So a percentage of the money that we raised for making the shirts and buying the shirts went towards our fundraising. So that was really cool, and I think more people just did it, and because we told people how fun it was.
And Quinnipiac did not only exceed the $150,000 fundraising goal, we were also placed higher on the list of top fundraising dance marathon schools.
Dance Marathon, I think about a month ago, released their 2016 year in review standings, and we fit into the category of undergraduate universities under 12,000 students. And so Quinnipiac, we only have 6,000 or 7,000 students, which puts us as even lower than most of those other schools. And if we raise $200,000, it makes us sixth in the country in that category, which is incredible.
With such a successful year, those on the management team have high hopes for the future. For Q30 News, Callie Keys.
The Muslim Student Association, or MSA, is holding events this week to recognize Islamic Awareness Week. On Monday, MSA held Cupcakes and Faith, an event where students could meet Muslims on campus, ask questions about their faith, and enjoy cupcakes. And earlier today, MSA held Try On a Headscarf for a day, where students could wear a Muslim headscarf or a hijab for an entire day. Looking forward to the remainder of the week, MSA is offering henna tattoos tomorrow night, March 30th, in the Student Center Rotunda. The final event of the week is a showing of My Name is Khan on Friday night in Eklund 101.
In 2 weeks, Quinnipiac University will be going Greek. That's right, it's Greek Week, and all the fraternities and sororities will be teaming up to compete in various challenges around campus. The main challenge will be the lip sync battle at the end of the week that will take place at the TD Bank Sports Center on the York Hill campus. At the end of the week, the Greek team that won will be announced after all the events.
The Society for Human Resource Management, or SHRM, and the School of Business held events to recognize Diversity and Inclusion Day throughout the day yesterday. Various multicultural organizations as well as university administration spoke in the piazza, which led into an open mic where they invited students to speak and share their perspectives on diversity and inclusion. Executive Vice President and Provost Mark Thompson informed the Quinnipiac community last Friday that Dr. Manuel Carrero, former Vice President and Dean of Students, has passed away. During Carrero's 32 years at the university, he, quote, played a key role in building the student-centered environment and strong sense of community that makes Quinnipiac so special, end quote. Carrero served as vice president and dean of students and held important positions in residential life, athletics, student health services, campus ministry, along with other areas of the university.
On March 25th to 26th, the School of Business had its first ever case competition. Students had the opportunity to show their creativity by solving a business problem. The students had 24 hours to solve the problem and then present their solution. The winners received a monetary award. Third place won $500, second place won $1,000, and first place won the grand prize of $1,500. Major political news broke on Friday, and the Republican Party is struggling to keep it together.
That's right, Chris. We'll toss it over to Mike Iozo, who has our full political update. Mike?
That's right, guys. After a long-fought battle by everyone on the Republican front, the attempt to repeal Obamacare has failed. Speaker of the House Paul Ryan held a press conference to explain that there were not enough votes to pass the repeal. Last Friday, this shocked many Republicans because of their control in both the House and the Senate. One of Trump's main campaign promises was to repeal and replace Obamacare, so that the repeal's failure was a very unexpected. Trump blamed the health care bill's collapse on the far right side of the Republican Party, primarily blaming lawmakers and investment groups. This is a very large shift from originally blaming the Democrats for their stubbornness. He started his attack commenting on the Freedom Caucus with a tweet saying, quote, "The irony is that the Freedom Caucus, which is very pro-life and against Planned Parenthood, all owes PP to continue if they stop this plan," end quote. The result is already divided a GOP to an even greater split. Trump says this is just the beginning of an uphill battle with issues to be debated by the Republican Party. This pressure has caused one high-profile member of the Freedom Caucus, Representative Ted Poe, to resign. The financial effects of pulling the bill are just starting. The Dow Jones dropped 150 points, and the global markets have begun and continue to fall as the days go on. International markets like the UK's and Germany's have fallen around 0.7%, and the Japanese dropping more than 1.44%. The repeal's failure has also left dollars to fall to its weakest value since mid-November, from a high of 100 to a low of 99.2. This has begun to be labeled as Trump's biggest defeat since he has taken office, and it has set fire to an already heating up GOP. That's your political update. I'm Mike Iozo. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Mike. Great stuff as always, and the Republican Party seems to be going through a lot lately.
Yeah, you know, when Trump was campaigning, he said that the first 100 days would be the best 100 days of his presidency. But as Mike just said to us, Trump's biggest defeat since he has taken office just occurred. Kind of question what Trump said when he was campaigning. And when we come back, Brooke Riley talks the top 3 stories happening around the nation.
And Krista Delane has the weather update. Will there be any more rain?
Stay with us.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
And welcome into Studio 125.
So what?
Points. If you score 40 points in a basketball game, we all know you play Quinnipiac Intramurals. We all know you love to shoot the rock.
Well, if you think that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, what I'm about to say, I guess, is going to be pretty ridiculous in your book. But I'm going to say, yes, there is a controversy. I'm
getting ready to punch the ball as it lands right in front of another Monument player.
The Q30 Newscast is sponsored by Quinnipiac University Online. Finish your degree faster with online summer courses through QU Online.
Coming up, coming up, coming up.
Coming up on hashtag that.
We are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast.
Thanks for sticking with us. School of Communication students have the opportunity to better prepare for their future careers in interactive sessions and network with industry professionals at this year's Media Mashup. The event will take place on Thursday, April 6th from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Rocky Top Student Center on York Hill. The Media Mashup allows all 5 departments in the School of Communications to collaborate and hold an event beneficial for all students in the school. The School of Communications students interested in attending can visit qumediamashup.com for more information and are encouraged to do so, as some sessions during the program require you to reserve a seat. The Interfraternity Council, or IFC, at Quinnipiac is tabling all this week to bring awareness and raise funds for their new philanthropy, No Shave November. Students are welcome to the table in the Student Center to enter raffles, learn more about men's cancer, and learn more about the philanthropy. Q30's own Callie Keys visited the table, and here's what they had to say.
We've been tabling and selling raffles. The point of the raffles was mostly just to spread awareness that IFC has a new philanthropy, not so much as like the prize and stuff like that, but to get people to the table and explain to them that, yeah, we know it's March, but as I tell the people at the table, men's cancer isn't just in the month of November. We raise funds all throughout the year. It's not just a concern that you should have in November, it's a concern that you should have all throughout the year.
The Student Programming Board held an event named Cooking with Culture last night in the Piazza. 2 chefs were brought in to bring together food, culture, and interaction between students. The chefs were from New York City and were from the Whisk and Ladle Supper Club. The goal of the project was to show that cooking can bring together cultures together. Students had the opportunity to try the food at the end of the event. Southern New England Association of Black Journalists held an event on the Mount Carmel campus in the Mount Carmel Auditorium. A current ESPN SportsCenter anchor, Darren M. Haynes, spoke to students as a keynote speaker. There was also a panel available to students to answer any questions about journalism and the journalism field.
Phi Gamma Delta, or Fiji, in collaboration with other members of the Quinnipiac community, are calling for donations to Not Just for One. Not Just for One is a donation campaign with the purpose of showing people that there are many different types of cancers and that those who have cancer are not alone. The entire Hamden community, not just Quinnipiac students, are encouraged to participate, and each donor group will be invited to come together on April 24th to recognize the accomplishments made, bringing awareness to cancer through this campaign. Additionally, Fiji plans on inviting representatives from the supported cancer foundations to meet with the student group that raised money for their cancer type.
Last Sunday, Alpha Chi Omega had an event where students wore heels to fundraise to fight against domestic violence. It was a relay race on the quad wearing the heels, working as a team. Both fraternities and sororities competed in the event. The winner was Zeta Beta Tau, and the event is held at Quinnipiac once a year. Well, 2 passengers were denied boarding a plane on United Airlines because they were wearing leggings as pants.
And a nightclub dispute escalated into shots fired. Brooke Riley has more in her national news update.
Thanks, guys. A lot has certainly taken place across the country over the past week, so let's jump right into it. Another shooting has taken place inside a nightclub. Shortly after 1 a.m. on Sunday, a DJ called for security multiple times at a packed Cameo nightclub in Cincinnati. There was a chaotic scene as people tried to escape the building after a few gunshots had been fired. Police identified the shooter as 27-year-old O'Brien Spikes. They say that several people had been able to sneak guns into the club and believe that others may be involved as well. The incident developed from a dispute that started early and escalated. The shooting left 1 person dead and 16 people injured. Authorities say that this was not an act of terrorism. Sadly, that was not the only shooting that occurred this weekend. There was a shooting on a public bus in Las Vegas on Saturday. A man sitting in the back of the bus opened fire for no apparent reason as passengers got off at a stop right in the center of the tourist attractions. 55-year-old Rolando Cardenas has been officially charged by officials after a standoff with police inside of the double-decker bus that lasted for more than 4 hours. He finally surrendered, and one victim was killed in this attack, while another was shot in the stomach and taken to a nearby hospital, but is expected to recover. Police shut down the strip for an unexpected amount of time where they were investigating the situation. Authorities believe that this has occurred because there were some mental issues that led him to do this. Social media blew up on Sunday night after a gate agent denied girls entry on the United Airlines flight for wearing leggings. There was people occurred as pass riders. This means that they can fly standby when space is available. They are prioritized last on standby. Pass riders are treated more like employees rather than passengers. Therefore, the women were supposed to dress up for flight. This information seemed to have been overlooked by many people. That's all I have for this week's national news update. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Brooke. And still to come on the Q30 Newscast, Krista Delane has our first April weekend forecast.
All right, stay with us.
All this and more.
Coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
It's 9:30 Eastern, and you know what that means. Sports Pause is on the air.
Ball played up the middle. Iman Whalen with a little cheat off the pipe. Preseason just boils down to going after another national championship and not necessarily focusing on the one before.
MJ, it is time for our favorite part of the show. It's the top 5 plays of the week, brought to you by B&D Deli, home of the Q-Dog.
Let's talk about the first play you want to break down.
Yeah, let's break it down right away.
But the one name I'm going to throw out there is a freshman, Nika Maples.
The Q30 Newscast is sponsored by Quinnipiac University Online. Finish your degree faster with online summer courses through QU Online.
Hello, Quinnipiac hockey fans, and welcome to the Neutral Zone.
Definitely St. Lawrence, and I think you're going to see the test coming up real soon.
They might be having a bit of an adjustment issue without that CBS line, but don't count them out.
At High Point Solutions Arena in Game 2 of Quinnipiac vs. Northeastern Series.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast.
Thanks for sticking with us.
And now we toss it over to Krista Delane, who is standing by outside the Carl Hansen Student Center, ready to give us her full weather update.
Krista, tell me there is no more rain.
All right, guys, I'm out here on the quad, and I do have to say it's pretty cold out here. It's 32 degrees, but it is clear with a 7 miles per hour for wind. And then the sunset today was at 7:13 p.m. Tomorrow night it will be a little bit warmer with an overcast and maybe a shower, and the wind will be at 5 miles per hour and sunset will be at 7:15. Tomorrow during classes it will be warmer, so you'll just need a light jacket, not too bad at all, and it will be partly cloudy with 7 mile per hour winds. and a 6:39 a.m. sunrise. And in the local area, it is at the coldest in stores with 33 degrees, and Hartford and Norwich are at 36, Waterbury 35, Meriden 37, New Haven 37, and New London at 34 degrees. All right, looking ahead at your 7-day forecast. On Thursday, tomorrow, it will be, like I said, 53 degrees, not too bad, partly cloudy, and the low will be at 36 degrees. On Friday, there will be some showers, so make sure you bring your raincoat, and it will be at a high of 40 and a low of 34. On Saturday, April Fool's Day, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 42 and a low of 34. On Sunday, it will be partly cloudy again with a high of 54 and a low of 33. Monday looks like the nicest day in your 7-day forecast with a 55 high and a 37 low. On Tuesday, we will have showers again with 51 degrees at your high and 39 at low. And wrapping up the week, Wednesday, it will be cloudy with a high of 54 and a low of 34. That's all I have for your weekly forecast. I'm Krista Delane. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, Chris, looks like the first weekend of April will be free of rain, just in time for some great outdoor April Fool's pranks.
Maybe some of your entertaining pranks can make next week's entertainment update. But for this week, we toss it over to Rika and Kayla from #that with this week's entertainment update.
Thanks, Joel and Chris. I'm Kayla Heavey.
And I'm Rico DeFranzo. Spider-Man fans are anxiously awaiting the release of the new movie Spider-Man Homecoming. The trailer was just released and everyone has gone to Twitter to show their excitement for the movie. Although some fans weren't pleased with it, many people are saying that the trailer reveals too much information about the upcoming movie. The major scene everyone is talking about is one between Spider-Man, played by Tom Holland, and Iron Man, played by Robert Downey Jr. The movie will be released in theaters on July 7th.
Glee star Heather Morris is now being placed with a new partner on Dancing with the Stars after her former partner Maxim Chmerkovskiy was injured during week 1 of the competition. She's now being placed with Alan Bernstein. Max is suffering from a calf injury he got during rehearsal. He took to Instagram to reveal that he'll be out for a few weeks. Here's to hoping a quick recovery and he returns to the show soon. In other reality TV news, Abby Lee Miller has been in and out of trouble a lot with the law. She recently announced that she will be no longer a part of the Lifetime reality show. She's attempting to avoid jail time after pleading guilty to hiding bankruptcy assets. Abby Lee Miller claims she's leaving the show that made her name known around the world. According to Abby Lee, she's been disrespected and controlled by the producers. It'll be interesting to see how the show continues without the main dance teacher that started it all.
And that's all we have for this week's entertainment news update. Back to Joel and Chris at the desk.
When we come back from break, we will join Andrew Badillo at the sports desk.
You'll have tons of updates to give us from the world of Bobcats athletics. You'll only want to find out what they are if you stay with us.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
And welcome into Studio 125.
So what? If you score 40 points in a basketball game, we all know you play Quinnipiac Intramurals. We all know you love to shoot the rock.
Well, if you think that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, what I'm about to say, I guess, is going to be pretty ridiculous in your book. But I'm going to say yes, there is a controversy.
I'm getting ready to punch the ball as it lands right in front of another Monmouth player.
The Q30 Newscast is sponsored by Quinnipiac University Online. Finish your degree faster with online summer courses through QU Online.
Coming up on #that.
We are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
As promised, we go over to Andrew Badillo, who is standing by, ready to give us the recap of what happened to the women's basketball team in Stockton, in California, in their first NCAA Sweet 16 appearance.
I also hear that Andrew has a recap on the press conference that was held yesterday introducing the new men's basketball head coach, Baker Dunleavy. Andrew?
Oh, that's right, guys. Thanks a lot. It's been the buzz all around campus this week. The new man at the helm for Quinnipiac men's basketball is Baker Dunleavy. Our main anchor, Chris Stacy, was at Dunleavy's introductory press conference Tuesday. He tells us more about the new hire.
Quinnipiac Athletics announced a new head coach of the men's basketball team about a month after the firing of Tom Moore.
I'm confident that with his announcements, men's basketball is also going to make March a very exciting month here at Quinnipiac in the years ahead.
And it was right here where Greg Imodio introduced Baker Dunleavy as the next Quinnipiac men's head basketball coach.
We achieve greatness because we have exceptional leadership and culture in these programs. And now it is time to set our sights in taking men's basketball to the next level.
And, after our weeks of talks, as Greg mentioned, it was very clear to me that there is a foundation in place at this school that shares a lot of what I believe.
And the current players were optimistic about the coaching change.
I mean, that's big time. He's coming from a big program that's winning, so I think that could pay dividends to Quinnipiac.
It was a relief, to get to see who's going to be the new leader. And, I think the things that he was talking about, it could like translate and it could be good for us.
Dunleavy, who was the associate head coach at Villanova prior to taking the Quinnipiac job, now faces the challenge of keeping the current players.
I mean, obviously there's a sense of urgency to want everybody to stay. And I said that to the guys in the locker room. I hope over the next few days and weeks, they'll feel comfortable enough with me that they want to stay. First and foremost, these next days and weeks are going to be about me building a relationship with those guys, building a trust.
But no matter what, Dunleavy has a tough road ahead as he has to try to take over a team that went 10-21 last season. Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Chris Stacy.
Since realignment, only 4 women's basketball 12 seeds have advanced to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. Quinnipiac, the other basketball school in Connecticut, pronounced Quinn-a-Piac, became the 4th team, joining BYU, San Francisco, and Kansas. The magical run for Trisha Fabry's squad came to an end against South Carolina this past Saturday as the Bobcats fell to the Gamecocks 100-58. It was only the 2nd time a MAC team has advanced to the Sweet 16. Marist was the other to do so back in 2007. And switching over to spring sports, rain and cold temperatures have caused problems for teams on campus. The baseball team canceled its home game against Dartmouth and rescheduled its home game against URI to be played at URI on Thursday. The softball team also postponed its doubleheader with Brown on Tuesday. That's all I have for sports this week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Andrew. And now you're all up to date on the latest Quinnipiac news. Stay up to date by following Q30 News on Twitter at Q30 News.
And visit our website at Q30television.com to see previous episodes of the Q30 Newscast or other shows within our station.
As you probably could tell, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for joining us on the latest episode of the Q30 Newscast. I'm Chris Stacy.
And I'm Joel Vanner.
Have a good night, Bobcats.